Yeah, kid, how you doing, baby?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm good. I
Oof.
feel quite alive. It's fucking great to see you in person, my man.
Sheesh.
It's like it's hilarious. Kind of reminds me of the you being out of the city for so long. Reminds me of like the old just like fucking COVID days, just being on Zoom with everyone, and then the first time you see someone, you're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, like you are an actual human being that I can like touch and hug. Like I feel like. Yeah, because we've done like you're an actor, I'm an actor. We've fucking hit each other up for auditions pretty much weekly. Like I feel like we've at least talked once a week because of what we have to do in auditions.
For sure.
So I've felt connected to you still since you've been out of the city. But my God, I was like, when you showed up today, I was like, holy hell, like he's here.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't even believe. I didn't know if you'd ever come back.
Yeah, for real. That's crazy.
But yeah, man, it's good to see you.
feeling.
It's like we were saying, it's like this city is It's like it's never going anywhere, and it's ready for you, and we're waiting for you. But like it's on your time. But like we're waiting, like we're all waiting, like twirling our thumbs. And like anytime I leave too, like I go home to Canada for a month, and people are like, "Do you fucking live here still, man? Like you're always away." And I come back, and it's like everything's back to normal. Everything's back to normal, but like. Everyone wants everyone to be here. This is our family, and like we're all a bunch of goons and misfits, but we all like we all call this place home somehow. Yeah. How are you, dude? How you been?
Well, it's crazy how much home has been calling us, both of us, right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah, we won't get into all of it, but my God, like, I think that's a big thing. It's like this isn't like New York isn't my actual home. Like you're from Wisconsin, I'm from Canada, New Brunswick, and it's like certain things come up in your life, and I'm like, yeah, sorry, New York, I do love you guys, but I'm actually not a really big city kid. I'm a town boy. Like I'm from a small town of 80,000. Like, and sometimes that's what comes calling, and I gotta go. But then I always come crawling back. Like this is my other home, but.
Well, I think it's interesting. It's like, this place is your home. It is your home, dude. You've been here for 13 years, bro.
Yeah, it's like kind of crazy.
That's a long time to be in New York City.
And it's like I was in my hometown for 17. I'm like, once I get to 17, and I can say I've been half and half.
And also, you were just a kid.
Yeah.
That was just a place where you were a seed.
I was a seed, and like I wasn't on my own. I was getting fed. Like, you know what I mean? I had everything. Any mistakes you make, it's just like you get a hit on the wrist, but like you still got to go to your bed, and nothing's that bad is gonna happen. And like,
yeah,
I got like on my lunch, my mom like made me a lunch every day. Like I was literally like had a good upbringing and had this like have breakfast if you were like having a rough morning or like whatever. And it's like you have all this stuff done for you. It's like it's a different type of life. So those 17 years, I was like, yeah, it's important, but. I grew up in fucking New York. Like, the big growing up. Like, you know?
Of course. That's what shapes you shapes you. You know, this is your freaking adult life. This is like really who you are and what you do. You know what I mean? Like, I can't see you getting out of here anytime soon.
No, and it's like I don't know if you've ever debated before, because I feel like this is your longest stint out of the city since you moved.
Ever,
right? Yeah. 'Cause even when you booked that job and you were over in Dubai.
Yeah, I was gone for like a month.
It was a month or 2 months?
A half.
Yeah, exactly. But again, like for like, so not work related, like getting out of the city, like, and you've been gone, like, would you say 8 months, 9 months?
Yeah, it's been since.
Like, I can't even fucking believe that. Like that's amazing. It's like, man, he actually stuck to it. Like anytime and I swear to God, every year I'm like, I'm going to go try Toronto. I'm going to go try Vancouver, use my dual citizenship, go try Canada. Maybe I'll go do a month out in LA, meet some reps out there and stuff. And then a year goes by and I'm like, oh, fucking hell. Am I ever going to get out of this place? But the reality is I don't want to, really. That's why I don't move. Like, I genuinely love it here.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't even entertain the thought long enough to really even look at a plane ticket. Like, I like it too much. So I just flirt with the idea. I'm like, oh, Toronto would be cool for a summer. Maybe I'll sublet it. And I'll go sublet there. And then I don't. And then, like, I don't actually put any like action into place or open a tab on my computer to like look into a sublet. I just like flirt with the idea, passes, and then I go out or go to a comedy show or do whatever, and then I'm like sucked right back into the ether of New York.
That's the cool part about being here though too, is because you could easily find somebody to sublet your place whenever you want. If you want to go live somewhere else,
it's a fucking amazing. it's
you're gonna have no problem living somewhere else. Just get your fucking rent covered, and you're fine.
Yeah, it's fucking. It's great.
You know, like
it's not. It's like it's like one of the easiest things to sell. It's like I can't fucking sell a couch. Yeah, but you can get your room. You can get your room rented by like 50 people for like whatever, and that's always a nice relief.
I think that's going to be more the route that I go over the next like year or two. Yeah, especially because it's just like I don't feel the need to be in New York as much anymore, and yeah, if I can just have somebody sublet it for like 2 weeks at a time or like a month.
Yeah, dude.
And I can like make some money off it and be somewhere else and fucking hang out like down in Miami and just like play volleyball on the beach and like coach, volleyball lessons and still send all my self-tapes in and
that's what I mean.
Whatever. Like that's going to be great,
it's like our buddy Neil, like also just him being like out of town, but he's submitting. It's like you can audition still remotely. Like,
yeah,
I can be home in Canada and do it. And it's like, Canada's a bit different. It's like, obviously it's 12-hour drive and like it's a flight, but same. I mean, it was a flight for you. It's like, it's not that like, but being just anywhere else. Cause this city is intense. Like, I don't have to be 12 months every month for the rest of our lives. It's like maybe doing a snowbird aspect too. Yeah. Florida. Like, why not? Yeah. Like we deserve that too.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's crazy coming back here, brother.
When did you move? What was your first? When did you move to the city?
October of 2015.
October 2015.
So October will be 10 years.
Yeah, it's mad.
I'm counting it.
Yeah, fucking hell yeah, you're counting. You didn't get rid of the apartment.
This time away.
That doesn't matter. No,
that shit don't count,
I
bro.
always say, I'm like, if you have an apartment or if you have like stuff in the apartment, like that's your bed. Whoever the fuck's stuff in that apartment, that's your bed. That's your pillow he's putting his head on, or she's putting her head on. Like,
yeah. I've spent more time in this city than like anybody I know. Like, you've been here longer than me, but
like
you travel a lot more than I do.
Yeah,
you're fucking in and out of. You're going home for like a month at a time. I don't do that shit.
Yeah, this was like exactly. You're in it.
Yeah, and I was here all through COVID. Like a lot of people didn't do that, but
I think that was what really kind of gave me the because like I think basically after COVID. I was pretty locked down here. Wasn't able to go back home to Canada, which like is just like it's home, but it's just so special to me being back there. And I feel like just not being able to go home at Christmas and not going home that summer for like a couple of years. I was just like, okay, you know what? I've done that. I've sublet my apartment, and then I just can go home. I've worked for my buddy's landscaping company back in Canada, and just like get to go do a summer, a month or so there, and it's been really nice. Like just being able to just check out the city for a month.
I just couldn't see myself coming back here, dude, and fucking catering or working behind a bar anymore. Which is kind of like why we're here to talk about that today, because like I can't do that shit anymore, bro.
My God,
I can't do that shit anymore, bro. Oh my gosh.
I swear to God, man. Every year I tell myself it'll be my last year.
It's crazy. This catering shit is crazy.
It's hilarious too. I don't know about you, but like before I moved to New York or even like whatever, put my like nose to the grindstone about being an actor, going to an acting conservatory, I didn't know what the word catering meant. I thought of like cater, like I would think of like a food banquet at a wedding.
Right.
But I think of those buffet trays and stuff. Right. I didn't think of this like waiter thing. And I
model cater waiter.
I didn't know what that was. And I definitely did not even have it in my card. I didn't have a think in my head that after I finished school, I would have a side job at all. I thought I was going to be an actor. Like I genuinely was naive that I was like, I'm going to be an actor. I'll just I'll do a play and then I'll go from the play to a TV show. And like maybe I'll have to be a bartender or I'll work at a restaurant or something. Like I knew that those were like jobs, like service jobs.
Yeah.
But I had no idea what the hell a catering company was. And my God, like,
yeah.
Do I ever know what a fucking caterer is? It's like, God.
Do I ever know what a caterer is these days?
Funny. You know what I mean though? Like that word is like, it wasn't being thrown around. Like no one talks about that in an acting class. Like But it's like we're all caterers. It's hilarious. Or we've all done it. Everyone has a black skinny tie, right?
Bring a black tie, black pants, black shoes, black dress shoes.
Yeah,
and
please wear black socks. Please wear black socks. You don't want to see white tube socks under those black shoes, you fucking mutts.
Black socks, either a black button-up T-shirt or a white button-up T-shirt and a black tie. That is your catering
That's your wardrobe.
uniform.
That's your wardrobe.
You will make money in New York if you can literally just go get that for yourself.
Yeah.
And just go to one of the 300 event and catering
a day
groups that are established in New York. Right before we released this episode, I just had this episode with my friend Dev, who runs Novera events, and he also runs the hashtag Boom, which is his marketing company. And we were having a conversation all about his life and catering and throwing events and how much he loves it. Yeah, and he really does. Like, the man is.
He started and then he started in it and then kind of started this hashtag Boom.
Yeah,
company.
you know who actually works for him a bunch is Keithan. My buddy Keithan. He's 6'5", actor, gruffy guy. Yeah. Keithan
works for him. Okay.
Keithan does a lot of work with him. They're really good friends.
At this at his new marketing company.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. At Novera.
Novera. Okay.
Yep. And we had a really cool conversation. I mean, it was cool to see his side of things because he was very. I even asked him about the competitive world, and we talked a lot about what it's like to work with people like us, and especially people like you that don't actually care about the catering and just want to go get a fucking check. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. You're both. No, you're one of the best workers for sure. There's scumbags in there.
Yeah. It's a spectrum.
There's a huge spectrum, and people are trying to make money, and then you have it's the people that actually take it really seriously, and it's like, bro, you're just
too seriously.
This is just an event, dude.
We don't have a Michelin star. We're never gonna get a Michelin star, dude. We're a fucking catering company.
But I do appreciate that though, because then you just wouldn't have fucking legit events though.
I mean, that's the thing. I'm you kind of need those drill sergeant kind of people.
Yeah. And so you could work with so many different kinds too, right? So I worked for Olivia Chang Catering, OCC. They're considered the best.
They're cream of the crop.
And I got in with them right away when I moved to New York in 2015 because my boy, who I played doubles volleyball, beach volleyball with, his friend Andrew was a really successful model here and was working at OCC.
Okay.
So just to give a quick little backstory for people that are listening, catering in New York is on another level. It's not like you going to a little frickin' banquet you're talking about.
Or a wedding.
These catering companies, and Dev's episode should have come out, if you haven't listened to it, it should come out right before this episode. It is a serious, serious business. You're dealing with massive events where I've worked for OCC. Right before I left to go home, I worked a fucking wedding for who was the guy? I can't remember. Billionaire family.
I think exactly.
Billionaire family rented out an entire armory. The production value, bro.
Yeah, dude.
They built a stage that was. This was the craziest event I've ever worked.
Is that OCC?
This was for OCC.
Yeah.
Rented out the entire armory on fucking 57th Street or something like that.
Yeah.
Bro, the whole thing front to back was a whole stage production. They built a huge set for where the ceremony was, and then built a gigantic room that had 4 different bars set up, and it felt like you were in the 40s. That was the theme. It was old New York in the 30s,
fuck, yeah, okay.
30s and 40s. So it was dim lighting. It looked like everything was the Empire State Building, Frank Sinatra era.
Yeah.
Shit from hanging from this gigantic chandeliers that they all brought in.
Were you in all blacks? Did they put you guys in specific? When they do the specific outfits?
I don't remember what I was wearing. But they had whole professional production lighting team, whole sound crew, because then they built a huge gigantic stage and dance floor, and the stage was when you go back and look at like that like big band era, when you
yeah.
watch the videos, they're like on like tiered levels.
Right.
It's like
and
the drummers here,
yeah, and
the singers are all down here, the drummers there, the horns are up there.
Yeah.
It was that, but it was huge.
Just in the whole park,
And,
the whole
and like fucking what's his face? Neil Patrick Harris was there, like as one of the guests.
Yeah.
Like billionaire, like oligarch style family.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous.
What was it for?
And also just so some of these people know, like we have to sign NDAs for some of this shit because there's so many celebrities and like
I've had my phone taken away, phones taped up, like
phones taped away, government officials there, like you can't like say shit, see shit, record anything.
Yeah.
Why was I
but
getting
basically just
to that?
I feel like just the level of, I feel like you're just, I think just kind of putting in perspective the level of catering in New York City.
Yes, that's what I was doing. Yes.
Like I don't think it's a stretch to say this is probably like
that's the Mecca.
It's the Mecca of catering and events in the fucking world.
It is, for sure.
It is, and it's like
100%.
You think of like I always just tell people, think about those bags you see of like kind of like, I think you just get cheap bag in like Times Square of like basically the cities that have fashion weeks. It's like, okay, Paris, Milan, London, New York, but it's like New York is and I hate to say it, but it's like it's the center of the world. Like this is where Wall Street is. This is where there's a fashion week. Yes, we have Broadway, but like it's the fucking stock market.
Well, Broadway's big.
Broadway's huge. The UN, like catering, like there's everything. There's a lot going on here. So the amount, the socialist not socialist, but the
point the mic towards your mouth.
What do they call it? The socialites, like the socialites of Manhattan, and the people. It's like people who have money, and I don't even know who these people are. And we're on the Upper West Side or Upper East Side, and I'm just doing a dinner for them for 8 people
in their home.
In their home, and they have a 7-floor brownstone on like West 72nd.
Right, they own
all
7 floors.
And you don't know who this person is.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're just like, oh yeah, no, this person's mother like invented like a friggin' like calculator or something.
I actually another event that I did right before I left as well, but this was through Liquid Labs. Shout out to Liquid Labs, Parker. Love you guys, Parker and Greg, the owners of Liquid Labs here in New York City. They do private cocktail courses for people, for companies. If you want to do it for,
I know
whatever.
that. Did you teach some of the classes?
Yeah, I've done tons of classes.
Yeah.
We do it for corporate teams.
My buddy TJ has worked for Liquid Labs.
Yeah,
you do like an old fashioned class or something.
Yeah, we usually do like 3 or 4. We do like really small scale stuff, and then we do stuff for like corporate entities and stuff like that. And then we also do shit in people's homes where we'll just like bartend.
Okay, cool.
And one of the things that I did right before I left was for the wealthiest black man in the entire world, African American man here in the United States. His place is somewhere in Chelsea. I can't remember his name. I think it was Robert, but he's worth like $8 billion or something like that. Or it's either 4 or 8 billion. But his whole fucking home, dude, it was like 3 levels, and the interior design. He had like gigantic. I mean, like it was literally like you're in like the sickest art gallery space ever, but it's his living room, and it's like. It was just ridiculous. Louboutin, like gigantic cases everywhere. Like I don't know who the hell designed that home, but 3 homes, windows that are fucking 25. John Batiste was there, and fucking literally did a private grand piano show for the guests, and they just
played like a song. And
no, he
played for the night.
And he was there to have dinner too.
Okay.
So he played like several songs on the piano, and then like did some stuff with a couple other instruments, and then like had dinner with them, and they were having wine, and it was wild. But anyways,
it's crazy. But I mean, like, even you're saying that, and it's like not, but like the name dropping of like, and it's like I can't even keep up with all of it, but like just on the note of a musician, it's like I've worked and from like an accountant's firm thing at a place called Gotham Hall. Questlove was the DJ, and then I just did back in the fall during the campaign when like the election campaign, like Tim Walz spoke. Questlove again DJ. I've been at 3 events, and Questlove was the DJ, just high end events that they're like, who's the best DJ in New York City? Like, let's get Questlove to come through, and it's like
Questlove, sure.
And I'm just like, is that fucking Questlove up there? And I'm like, this music, and like the music's out of control, like it's super good mixing all for a 5-hour party, and I'm like, oh wow, this party's. Like that, I don't know how much he cost to book for 5 hours, but like, and kind of when you're talking about the Armory one, it's like we're just doing food and beverage, And then there's like they hire
that band alone is like,
exactly. Then they hire
like
the band.
$75,000.
Sometimes they hire pyrotechnics. Sometimes they hire the stage design, the production design, floral design.
Oh, like, this was $1 million.
That's what I mean. You go to these parties, and I'm like,
$1 million for sure.
Like, we're doing $250,000 easily, just food and bev. And then there's like, and then there's fucking people flying or blowing fire out of their mouths, and like people like the activations and shit. Like these productions are like they're out of control.
Yeah.
And these
100%.
are in Manhattan. These are the and then obviously like the whole other side of it is like when summer comes and we have wedding season, like we're all out in that fucking Hamptons, like, and people are like, man, you spend a lot of time in the Hamptons. I'm like, I'm out on the beach in the Hamptons. I'm working at these billionaires' homes, and they're like third or fourth homes for like their because they want to have a nice brunch on a Sunday, and I'm out there, like, and you're like, oh, this is just your cottage. Okay, nice. You have a baseball diamond. That's sweet. that was at Jerry Seinfeld's house. Jerry Seinfeld's house out in the Hamptons.
What?
We saw his huge car garage. I don't think it was his cottage, but I mean that's where he lives. But he had a little baseball diamond on the front, and we did a dinner that his wife Jessica puts on, and we do the benefit for them. And he was there.
He's got a baseball diamond.
Gwyneth Paltrow was at that dinner. Like people are just walking again. Like there's just like. Don't go up to the celebrities. Don't talk to them. You don't. Like, it's just like,
why would you anyways?
Why would you?
Unless something like naturally happens.
Nothing naturally. Yeah, exactly. But like, you would do something and then they like excuse them, and they're normal. They're human beings. They're just, and they're having a dinner. They don't want you to go up to them and tell them that you're a friggin'
fan.
Yeah, you're a fan, or that you're an actor.
I'm the biggest fan.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Where's
they
my
know
cocktail?
they know that you know them. Like they you don't need to remind them, and it's like, but it's kind of amazing. I didn't expect to. And anytime I have friends who visit the city and they like walk around the Village or Soho or something, and they run into it, and they're like, I swear to God, I run into like in 13 years, I think I've like ran into maybe, and like I've never like met them, but like I saw Ben Stiller once on the street. I mean, I very rarely see people on the street, but I have a friend who visits New York for a weekend, and they see fucking 5 people in the streets, but I don't see them on the streets. I see them at events. So Jerry at an event, or I saw Jimmy Fallon in his house, and Oprah Winfrey at Sotheby's. Like, you see them out of these events because we're working at the cream of the crop of events in the world. Like, you're gonna see some big fucking names. So all that to get back to, there's some shitty people that work in this business, and then there's some great people, and the same thing with the event business as well. Like, there are shitty event companies, and there are some really good ones, like OCC. I know Mary Giuliani's a better one. I've worked for Mary Giuliani for a long time. Yeah, Mary Giuliani's my home too. That's my shout out to them. Mary Giuliani, love you guys.
Which is crazy because I can't believe you and I have never worked on a fucking catering job.
I honestly,
maybe one way back in the day.
Because when you said OCC, I was like, I'm pretty sure OCC. My buddy Emilio in college, he was the one that was like, yeah, dude, we got to get into catering. And I worked for OCC and Peter Callahan. I think I did one event for OCC, and I was like, and they were like, it was a sit down dinner. I was in over my head, and I was like, I don't even know if they fucking ever called me again. I was like, fucking trying to hold. I dropped 2 plates. I was just a mess. I was like, this is super hard. I don't want to do a sit down dinner.
This is hard as hell. Yeah, I mean they do training so that you know how to drop plates correctly, pull plates correctly from what side.
They're top tier.
It's
like they're huge. Like
they're huge. So many guys.
And then you see all, that's the thing. There's all these other companies, and there's these like startups that come from like 2 people who were like doing catering, and maybe they'll like. Whatever, someone like works for a company, you work for OCC, and then like it'd be like me and you being like, yo, this is sweet, but like we can do this on our own. We branch out, we start like the amount of those companies that I've worked for, that's like someone who used to be my captain at an event, and then now they're starting their own company. And I'm like, all right, let's see how this pans out. They do like 2 events. They fucking realize that it's like a very intense industry that's like kind of hard to profit from if you don't know what the hell you're doing, and it's like overwhelming how to get the big clients. But like, it's all the different levels of it. But there's certain companies that I'm like, I work 2 shifts, and I'm like, I don't like this team. And or you're dealing with these workers, these staff who, and nothing against them, but there's these, when you're in it, like I've been doing catering since fucking 10 years, dude. Like, when I see someone like, I worked an event yesterday, and someone was building an ice tub at a bar, and I watched them pour the ice in and then shoving wine bottles in and trying to friggin' and I was like, you put the bottles in first, and if I have to fucking watch, and it's like, I can't even go to a party in the summer and like watch someone build like a cooler for a pool party, And I'm like, no, put the beer in the cooler. Dump ice on top of it. That's how you chill product.
Yes,
People
yes,
are like, okay,
yes.
calm down. I'm like, no, it's not fucking calm. Like,
It's not a time to be calm.
Yeah. The guests are arriving in an hour. They're like, Michael, it's a pool party. It's just me, you, and my cousin.
Mike.
Yeah.
Mike.
Breathe.
Mike.
Breathe.
Dude, you're not catering.
Yeah, I'm like,
You're not
I'm like,
catering.
fucking nah, man.
I'm seeing stars.
Yeah. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I can't see.
Where's my wine key?
I didn't bring my wine key today.
Like,
I can't see anything out there.
Okay, Michael,
I can't see anything
They're
out there.
twist offs. They're twist offs.
Mike, the twist offs is fine. I know it's a shitty rosé. Don't worry. Just twist off the cap.
I'm like, yeah. Oh, fuck. That's funny shit. Yeah, man.
That's fucking hilarious.
It's such a fun, and like, I mean, it's just a funny industry, dude, because I think the reality is that, like, and it's, I mean, like, you've worked in restaurants too. Like, the reality is that, like, with restaurants, sometimes, like, I've worked and had a maitre d' or a manager, a GM or whatever at a restaurant, or like my head chef when I used to work in a kitchen back in Canada, and that's their job, that's their occupation, that's their trade. They're going to be there. But in catering, like, I swear to God, from like I've had people in the admin who are actors and talent, or maybe now they've probably made the switch and they've kind of shut down that idea that they're gonna, but now they're just gonna work and they're on a payroll and whatever. But from all the caterers, it's like the caterers, the bussers, the bartenders, the captains are all somehow typically artists in some right. So it's just it just gives right to us having the funny. It's like the characters are out of control.
Yeah. Oh God.
Or it's like some of these companies I've worked for when it's like model caterers, and I'm just working with guys who have, like, I swear to God, some of the guys I've worked with have like 2 brain cells, and they're like, what is this again? It's like, it's a grilled cheese, man. He's like, okay. It goes up to, and it's like, it's grilled cheese with a truffle aioli, and I hear them going up to guests, it's a grilled cheese, and the guests are like, what kind of cheese is it? And there's like, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just it's orange cheese. Cheese. I'm like, orange fucking cheese, man. Do you know what cheddar? You know what cheddar is? Like, literally, or like ask the chef, like, what is in it. But people just, it's like some of these people that I've worked with, and it's like,
it's a crazy perfect job for also like immigrant people as well who have come here, and like, you know, like the modeling business. There's a lot of people that are not U.S. citizens.
Oh, right,
as well
from all
as,
over, yeah.
You know, same with the acting industry, and like, it's a perfect job for them. I mean, you can make such great money too.
That's
like,
the thing. It's like, once you touch that money, it's like, and
it's fun. You're in a different place every single day.
Right.
Like, you have a new crew member every single day,
Exactly.
new team lead, like everybody you're working with, and then like you do start to develop like friendships and
buddies,
really people that last forever during your time in New York. Like,
exactly.
Legitimately.
It's 100% that there's, I think, like that going to Brooklyn, going to White Plains, or going to Hamptons in the summer, and kind of keeping that is a part of it that keeps things interesting. But man, that pay is like, once you touch that, anytime I've like debated, or when it's like, because catering has like super busy seasons. Like, obviously summer's busy, the holidays get busy, and then typically after like the new year, it's always kind of dead. January, February, typically around that, it's the new year. I have these resolutions. I want to make more money. I'm starting to see my W-2s come in. How do I make more money than last year? And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go to a cafe. I'll start being a barista. I don't know how to be a fucking barista, but I always flirt with the idea that I'll be a barista, and then I like look at 2 jobs, and I'm like, $15 an hour.
Yeah.
And like, but you'll get tips, and I'm like, I can't work for $15 an hour. That's like, you can't do that. Like, you start catering. You start always like over 20, 25. 25 is like kind of your starting rate.
25.
And like, you get that. And
an hour.
Every company I've worked at, you get the 5-hour minimum. So you work a 3-hour event, you're getting paid $125, like minimum.
Yep.
So that's fucking needed if you're an artist and you don't have any other income.
Yep. 5-hour minimum, $25 an hour typically. That's
obviously
starting.
That's starting, and then like with like, I have experience and a pretty hefty resume with a lot of fucking companies that I started hire, and it's
catering
like,
king.
Catering, yeah, and you guys gotta.
You drive trucks.
Yeah, that's the thing. I drive I drive the trucks. I do sanitation. I'm bartending. I've captained. I'm like, whatever they need, basically, I'm willing to do and
You're
learn.
doing sanitation.
Sanitation's my and then we just call it sanit. Like, last night I was a sanit captain. And I'm like, I can't be happier than after doing this for 10 years, being off the fucking floor and being in the back in like, I was in this freight area last night, just literally like rubbing up against a fucking dumpster that smelled like shit. And there's a fucking guy on like 38th Street smoking a cigar, like probably 10 cigarettes, and then what literally smelled like a burning weed bush. It was just like, it smelled so potent. And people were like, is the weed in the garbage can? Like, what? It smells like it's burning in here. And people were like looking at me. I was like, I swear to God, it's not me. I was like, I'm not. I was like, I'm fucking sober. I swear. And there, yeah, but it was like hilarious. Like, but like, I just don't want to be on the floor. I don't want to be front facing anymore. Like, and I still will, but saying it's great, and I get a higher rate because I'm captaining.
Yeah.
But but I'm in charge of fucking. I'm literally doing dirty dish. I'm doing the dirty dishes and garbage, and I'm like, this is humbling, for to say the least. After 10 years of doing this, and I'm not like, I have an audition today for a series regular, but then now I'm doing garbage. Like, this is awesome. But honestly, man, I'm fine. I can't. It's all jokes aside. Like, I'm grateful. It fucking has put food on my table for my whole time in New York. Like, it's got me out of keep me out of trouble for the most part. I mean, it's gotten me into trouble too, but it's like I wouldn't have been able to survive here if I didn't have catering behind me.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's you could go down a crazy little dark path with the catering and stuff. Yeah. You got your access to the alcohol. You get introduced to some interesting people while you're there. You know, there's also, just like the bar industry, you know, there's people that have like drug habits, and you know, it's like, you know, and you sneak away from the floor a little bit. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of, and that's the thing. It's just like, it's a world of temptation, as is anything in service industry. Like, my first job was working as a dishwasher, and I climbed the ranks in a restaurant, the Greenhouse on Main, back in New Brunswick and Shediac. Closed down now, probably for the best. But
climb the ranks at Greenhouse on Main.
Climb the ranks though. I was a fucking dishwasher. Went to a fucking salad prep, or a prep cook, to a salad guy, to a first line cook, and then to the sous chef by the end of it. For a summer restaurant, but being a sous chef and telling a fucking 45-year-old man named Bear his name was Bear, like the animal. And I had to tell him, like, that is not appropriate. That's not a good penne, man. That sauce is so thin. Like, you got to thicken that up. And he looked at me, and he fucking had to go make it. And I was like, that's scary. But that guy was like a meth head, I think. He was a serious drug addict. And just being around, started that job when I was 14. It was my first job. I was around those kind of people, and I was in the back of house. So there was a whole slew of different type of crazy people. Oh, yeah. But the front house is just having a great time, getting hammered every night, doing coke, doing whatever. Like, they're having the bat, and I was like,
everybody in the back.
I was exposed to that, like, quite young, and I was like, oh, interesting. Why? Everyone, like, no one's tired after that 7-hour shift, and everyone's like, no, we're gonna chill. And I was like, I'll have a beer. I'm 16, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody in the back of house is always like much more sadistical.
It's a little bit more of a, and that's what something like in Anthony Bourdain's book, Kitchen Confidential, he says, like, you the relationships you build, and like the fine line of like love and fear in a kitchen, but it's like you're literally in a tiny line with an entire, one side is full of like sizzling hot oil and burners, fire, and on the other side is cutting boards with blades and cleavers and fucking. So it's like you're literally between fire and knives and like weapons. So it's like it's and huge egos, like huge egos. So it's just like, it's just a very intense. And I tried working in one restaurant, Crooked Knife. I think it's still open on 30th Street.
Oh, the Crooked Knife, yeah.
Yeah, like that was kind of our college dive bar, which is not a dive bar at all. It's like kind of nice because it's in Murray Hill. But I started working there, and I was like, I don't want to work at the front. I was like, I only knew kitchen. And I think I worked there for like 4 months and did brunches on the weekend. And I was like, I'm fucking out. I can't do a New York City restaurant. New York City restaurants are fucking great. Like you did, like you working at Le Bon, like, right? But you've worked at.
Yeah, I've been fortunate to work at a couple of really good places. Not a lot of restaurants though. The only restaurant that I really worked at was Pastis.
Okay.
Yeah, I worked at a shitty tavern. Like that was like my first gig, along with the catering. And then I worked at the back room, which was dope. And then I got my job at Le Bon. And then, during COVID, I got the job at Pastis.
Okay.
And, you know, I was working at Chapel Bar before that.
What do you find is the big difference you find, like, from compared to like catering, bartending too? Because I've never actually worked a bar. Like I don't think I could. Well, the catering
bartending is cool because it's super easy.
Yeah.
Right. Compared to working in a real bar, like I'm not having to close anybody out. I'm not having to you know, like
you're not dealing with money, really.
Run cards, no money. It's usually just like pouring wine, opening a beer, and
occasionally
then like
occasionally there's a cocktail or whatever. But
I think
the big thing I think you just said is like, I didn't even think about that, is like, you're not dealing with transactions. You're working open bar.
Yeah, it's just
like,
champagne, beer, wine, and then like a cocktail or two. When it does get annoying though. That's the worst part. Those specialty cocktails at a fucking event. You want to kill yourself.
300 people, and they're like, yeah, and then garnish it with a little twist of grapefruit and grapefruit bitters. Don't forget the grapefruit bitters in that one, and this one is Angostura.
And it's like, just so annoying because you have to like learn the cocktail right then and there.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you get flooded with people.
Yeah, they're like, guests are arriving in 20 minutes. You got these 2 cocktails and these recipes, and I'm like, what? I normally just literally, because you pour wine and beer 95% of the time.
Yeah, but then also it's like you're just behind like a fucking like desk essentially. It's like you're just at like a tall like
shitty little rented
bar
table.
desk that has like 2 shelves underneath it, so you have like, you know, like nothing to clean your fucking shaker out. You just dump it and fucking pour some water in it or something like that, dump that out, and you're like,
water from the ice
from the sand.
It's like
from the shit that I just dumped it into. Yeah, everyone's dumping it. I'm just dipping in there.
The shaker's so sticky. Like, I'm not joking. Like, there's some of this. I'm like, this is where I'm using a bottle of Pellegrino. I just pour it into the shaker, and that's like how I rinse it.
Right. No, that's what I would do too. I would use Pellegrino.
You don't have like, anytime I see an actual bar. I've helped a bar backed at a bar that does cocktail teaching back in my hometown, Moncton. But they have that like that thing that cleans the shakers.
Yeah, of course.
And sometimes when we work, I've worked bars and we have we have like an in-house space and they have a nice little bar set up, and I'm like, holy shit,
it's so nice.
I was like, there's a bar spoon. Like, a bar spoon makes me like cry. I'm using like a fucking chopstick or something normally. Like,
bar spoon makes you cry.
Yeah, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, there's an actual bar kit here.
That's so cute.
But
yeah, I mean, that's the difference, you know, like being behind a real bar and fucking having all the tools and, you know, ice in front of you, not like having to dip down to your side and fucking pick up ice with, you know, like, you know, it's just.
And you have a bar back, like you're not necessarily like your shit's gonna you got to stay in there for your shift, but like if your ice is running low, someone's gonna come and replenish it, and you got all that shit kind of taken.
Yeah.
Catering, depending on the size of the event, sometimes I'm like, oh, there's no ice. I have to let someone know that there's no ice. We have to order ice. They're like, you have to go get the ice, and I'm like, Jesus, let me.
Yeah.
It's a huge production. There's only 3 people to do every fucking job.
Yeah, it's a big runaround, and that shit. I mean, that's kind of like the downside to the bartending aspect. Though you do make tips.
Yeah.
You can.
Right.
At certain places. So it is like, but that's also why like you got to do coat check.
Oh, coat check's the best. Oh God.
Because I like doing coat check too.
You sit on you do shit.
Because you can chill.
Yeah.
You can make tips.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can still like flirt. You're still seeing people and shit.
Yeah.
Because for me, that's like the best part about being like front facing in an event like that, bro. I'm fucking hustling out there, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm meeting people and getting fucking names because I'm good at that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So for me, it's usually not just like, you know, like just the bartending and like making the money side of it. Also, I'm like looking at what event it is, because this is the cool thing, and I wanted to talk about this. When it comes to catering, you are offered a catering job, right? So like Mary Giuliani, correct?
Right, yeah.
Or OCC, Olivia Chang, they have clients who then book events with them, and they send out these, like, they know who you are, and they'll send it to certain people.
If you're on
first,
the company's roster,
right,
you get the email.
They go through their roster, see who they want first, and then they'll kind of blast it to everybody. So you might be one of the first people to get the invite. Like, certain companies will curate who they want there, and like sometimes it's always like the really hot guys or like the really skilled guys, you know what I mean?
Sometimes or people who are approachable, or sometimes it's people who have, like, if you want like really good English speakers, if it's a private residence, like a dinner,
right? It's gonna be like tailored, which is fine.
Someone told me recently, like, with someone who is our staffer, and it's like, it's nothing against the caterer, it's just like certain people's like energy. Also, it's like, this is a private residence for an 85-year-old like couple on the Upper East Side. Like,
yeah,
there's a certain type of person that's like,
you got to know how to be able to act around them, like, and talk around them.
Yeah, talk around them. And like, I'm a fucking, I'm a blabbermouth. I'm loud, but I know how to be quiet when I'm in someone's private home.
Right,
like,
yeah, of course.
It's a funeral or whatever it is.
Yeah, like, be respectful and carry yourself with some class.
And have the social skills to know how to code switch when needed.
Correct. And then also, what I was going to say was that they'll have clients that book, events with them. They'll send those out via email. So it's not like you're on a schedule. Right? You create your own schedule, which is also the biggest reason why freelancers like ourselves do that, because you can work when you want to work.
Yeah. And if you don't work, you're not fired. Like, you're still on the roster.
You're still on the roster. You're not getting fired. But they'll stop sending you shit if you're just never working and you're denying everything. They're gonna be like, well, I keep sending this to him and he
hasn't worked in months.
He hasn't worked. Yeah, it's been months. Like,
normally, and especially like when I get out of the city, it's going back. Like when I'm out for a month, I normally just let my Mary Giuliani or whatever. Like, I let them know I'm gone for a month or so, just to be like. And then they will know not to send me, like, 100%. They just know I'm not on. I don't need to send requests.
As you should.
Yeah.
As you should. I mean, that's just respect. That's a professional thing. That's professional.
Because it's a waste of time for them. And then I'm like, I'm going to deny all of them. And then I can know that when I come back at the beginning of August, I can be like, I'm back, guys. And then they'll be like, oh, sweet.
Of course.
Mike goes back. Boom, 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 boom.
I'm right there with that. That's exactly where I am with them right now. Yeah, if I ever wanted to go back, it would just be an email and be like, I'm back.
Yeah, exactly.
Things are all good. But yeah, that is the cool side to it. But how did I just get there? We were talking about how did I get into the scheduling just a second ago?
Shifts.
How did I get in there? How did I get into the shifts?
We were talking about different. So we're talking about bartending and
Bueller. Anyways, dude. I mean, listen. We don't need to like think about it. It'll probably just pop up naturally. But yeah, I can say that that's like the coolest part for me, because then you could actually hold a real bar job as well. Like, if you are working in that industry,
right?
And then you can like pick up catering jobs on days that you're not like scheduled,
right?
And just go make like 150 or 200 bucks.
Or if there's a morning shift that pops up and you're willing and you're not exhausted, you're like, fuck, I'll do a breakfast.
So you know what I was gonna get at? I was getting to the point where I was talking about how I like to hustle on the on
the floor.
I'm networking and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
okay, right.
Like, but I'm smart about it. You can't be like,
no. Yeah, you get yourself into trouble if you're like.
You will like either like your team.
It's in our policies. Like, you're not sexually aroused. You can't be like harassing people and like. But it's like there's a way to do it.
Or like networking. It's like it's got to be a natural conversation, and like they have to ask about you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
not
then,
force feeding them.
And then you maybe like give them a hint, like, oh yeah, like I shoot photography. I'm this, and then see if they respond to it. And if they don't, just let it go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if somebody's like truly interested in having a conversation with you, and they're, you're at like a really nice, I don't know, event for, I don't know, some fine art photography thing, and I'm a photographer, like, but I'm bartending, you know what I mean? Exactly. Like, it's like, maybe talk about the work, have a small little conversation while you're serving somebody,
subtleties,
talking about the work, and be like, yeah, I've like tried working on that technique or something like that. Drop a little hint if you think they might be somebody,
right? Or like drop some like I wouldn't know photography jargon, but you're like, rule of thirds. Yeah. You say something and then they're like, oh, this guy knows his shit maybe, and then like that opens them up to be like, wait, you shoot? Yeah, I actually do. Yeah, like I do other shit. Like, on top of this or whatever.
Yeah.
But
so I'm always out there. Like,
when you get those emails too, I think, I don't know if that's what you're getting at, but like you'll see, it'll say like, this is for like Harry, like it was a Spotify event. Harry Styles was releasing Harry's House. So you're at a music event. You're gonna be with producers and musicians.
Yes. Like, that's exactly what I was getting at.
Right.
You can also see the name of it and like what it is, and you're like, oh shit, I want to work that.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like the Met Gala. I got asked to do the Met Gala. I was like, yes, I'm gonna work the Met Gala.
I'll be at the gala. Yeah.
I ended up carrying Tyla up the stairs. By the way, Tyla, if you ever want to go get a little coffee, let me know, all right?
And I'll carry you back up. I'll carry you up or downstairs.
You ain't touching her, man. Shut the fuck up. Don't say you. I will.
You will. You will pick her up. You'll bring her down, up or downstairs. Yeah.
Yeah. No, the famous Balmain dress that she wore this year, that would like, it looked like it was made out of sand. It was made out of sand. I mean, there was sand on it. Like.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Met Gala is a big. I've worked it 1 year, but that's a huge. I feel like that's a huge. It's like Met Gala. What's the big one that we're doing now? I did it the second year, but I'm doing. Mary Giuliani has a client, we work with all these different ones, but we're doing the parade. We do the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade.
Oh, really?
And it's like, it's a huge client, but it's like, that's a huge day in New York. It's like Met Gala, huge day in New York, like doing like New Year's Eve events. It's like there's certain days that it's like, and you get like holiday pay and shit. But it's like Met Gala is like kind of one, like, and the amount of friends I have, like I feel like that's always one. Like, okay, if you've catered and you haven't like done something for either prep or something around the Met Gala, it's like one of New York City's biggest fucking events every year.
Yeah.
So
they also need so many people on that event.
There's like four. There's normally 4 companies working it. Like,
OCC is the main one.
Yeah, but I know RA's been on it before, Restaurant Associates, and like they just need friggin' bodies. It's just like soldiers. Like it's a huge event.
I believe Novera, they provided people, as well as I know my buddy Calais did Pro Staffing.
Okay.
Those are 2 more, places. If anybody listening to this in New York wants to go get a catering job and make some money,
there's like
Pro Staffing and Novera.
Yeah.
Novera and Pro Staffing.
Those are
those are the homies too. Like they're fun and they pay well, and they're not as big as companies as, like a OCC or a Mary Giuliani. So it's like a little bit more family.
Yeah.
Definitely more family style. Like, still doing really dope shit, but like, it's cool because you actually can like become like cool friends with these people.
I think that's an interesting
and see
thing.
them more often.
There's some of the like going back to just like the kind of the styles of different companies. Like some of these companies I've tried for, and I don't want to like name all of them, but like certain companies I would work 4 events or whatever, 4 events in a week and not see a single face twice because of how many soldiers. It's like I was like, this is an army. Like, and it was so impersonal, and that's not really for me. And I'm a part of the Mary Giuliani family, I like to say, and I am. So I feel like I'm one of the faces that people start seeing, and I'm on a lot of events. But there's I feel like there's certain companies that I just go to, and that's kind of takes me out of it. I want that personal aspect because we're freelancers. I'm never gonna have a 9-to-5 job, like any sort of co-worker, and like even like you've worked at like Le Bon, or when you have like a restaurant or a bar that you're working at, you have some ride or dies that you see every day. Like I want that a little bit with catering, and it's hard.
Giuliani. Give the camera a Giuliani stare. This
Giuliani.
No. Let me do the voice. You do it. Giuliani. A fragrance by Mary Giuliani. Move the microphone. Giuliani. A fragrance. de perfume de eau. Perfumed. Doing the Rizzler. Perfume de eau. Eau de toilette. Giuliani. Mary Giuliani.
Mary's amazing. Mary's so awesome. But she has a shirt, and she wears it to she doesn't like, but some events, she has this funny shirt that she clearly got made custom because the amount of times we go to an event and like we're at One World Trade or the Empire State Building or these big buildings with crazy security, and they're like, Mayor Giuliani has a catering company, so she has a shirt that she had made that says it's Mary, not Mayor, which I like love because it's literally. And I was like, she's in on the joke. Her last name is Giuliani, and her name it's Mary. Like it's a very, you have a little bit of a roll of the tongue, and it changes drastically. So, but yeah, she's an awesome, and it's like that's a big thing I really like too about certain companies. I've had like some of these companies are named after they're named after who started it, and you never see the face of this person whose company it is.
Yeah, I've never seen her.
And then, but Mary's at all she comes to so many events, and she's like, "Hi, thank you for working," and she like hugs you.
Oh, actually, yeah.
And she's like,
"You're right."
And like when you were saying about family, like Mary Giuliani is a family company. Like her and her best friend like started this company. We just celebrated 20 years like a couple weeks ago, which is awesome. But yeah, it started in 2005, and it's like. There are these like there's
you're a part of the family.
Yeah, it's like this. It is this family bond, but like seeing a boss for a company of like what it feels like the size that we're at, and like Mary is a published author. Like she's a legit person. Like she's very like well known. She's on TV. She's doing these things, and her connections are out of control. But to see her come to an event and like give you a hug and say thank you for working is like it feels so nice to have that recognition. And it's like because. I mean, at the end of the day, like, we're in hospitality, and it's very easy to have that feeling that you're just you're just the help, and it's like you're wearing your all blacks for the 4th day in a row, and like
yes.
And it's like I haven't had time to do laundry, so I'm literally, and I've just had done event after event, so I'm wearing like dirty ass black H&M shirt that you can see the gray, like the sweat fucking like
sweat
the ring,
from like the last 2 nights.
It's disgusting. If I like stand, if I stood the shirt up on a desk, it would just stand up, like it would fall over. Like, it has like shape to it, like a corset. But like she comes up and she's like, she hugs, and it's that means so fucking much to me. And it just, it feels really good to be seen by the company. Like I feel like they're all the event planners. They're just, it is a really good team. And I tell anyone that's new to the company, because we always have people come and go, and there's a few of us who've been there for a long time. But the new people that come in, I just tell them like, this is my team. This is I will take an event with them always. Like I don't really work with any other companies right now. It's like I've just been kind of with them for a few years now. And it makes me happy. So yeah, shout out to Mary and Michelle and everyone. Love you guys. You're the best. Through thick and thin, you guys have always been there for me. So thank you, and I love you all.
That's cute, dude. Yeah, I didn't know you. I mean, yeah, that's cool, man. That's super cool.
Yeah, dude.
I love that for you.
It's it's an interesting it's funny because I mean some of the companies I've worked for, and then some of the companies after COVID literally like they fucking vanished, or they're just like, well, we only have a little Philly office now. Like COVID fucked up catering, like live events, and it's like when people started realizing working from home, they're like, we don't need an office space in Madison anymore, or like on Madison Avenue anymore. People can work from home. We can do a WeWork. We don't need a giant office that we air condition and do electricity every day.
Yep.
And then people also realize we can just buy like whatever, spend $3,000 on White Claws and beers and throw our own party and just like have a karaoke machine versus spending $300,000 on a Christmas party.
Yeah.
So I definitely saw a little hit, especially if the first year's out of COVID. But yeah, some companies are just like, some companies didn't survive that, and it's like, I don't know, it's tough. Tough industry, all of it. Same with restaurants. I mean, like service got screwed out of that pandemic. But yeah, dude, it's good.
What are you kind of like looking forward to right now, like in terms of life? And I don't know, is there any like growth from Mary Giuliani that could come? I know that's not like your main goal. Right.
Yeah.
Like we're actors and like we want to be acting full time. Right.
Right.
But it's kind of crazy how like you are really involved with Mary Giuliani. Just like you said, you know everybody's name. You just give everybody a shout out. Like they are your family for sure. Like, you know, where do you like?
I feel like especially in the last like few months, I've done a couple of these trainings for both expediting for the big sit-down dinners for whatever 300 people plus, and those giant gala dinners and everything. So I've done training for that, and I had a captain training again last week. So I think just gradually moving up and kind of showing them, look, when I said they see me through thick and thin, I've been at Mary Giuliani on and off, let's say, for about like 8 years. So I think I turned 30 in December, and I think I'm like, look, this is a part of my life, and it's the reality. And as much as like I want to just be able to act full time, I'm in catering, and this is my side hustle, and I want to climb the ranks. I have leadership skills. I know I'm good at shit. I think I can explain things. I feel like I'm not the drill sergeant person. I can have fun and smile my way to, but I can, and I'm also open to teaching someone. I'm excited to teach someone like how to build an ice tub. And teach them how to do sand the way I like to do it and keep organized. And so I think just kind of growing in the ranks, and that's in that regard, because like, hey, if I'm going to do this as my side hustle, like let's get that pay bump up a bit and let me show up to work on time. Like treat this job like it's a job. Like just like, and that's one of my old acting teachers said that. He said like, if you're doing any of your side hustles half-ass, you're doing the whole thing half-ass. Because like without our side hustles, like my little naive dream when I moved to New York of like, I'm just going to go from a play to a show to a commercial, and I'm just going to live off of acting income, is a joke, and I can't. So I have to dedicate myself to being, and I'm like, I'm always still like my friggin', like, my God, I'm always still like 2 minutes late, or I'm like, I'm running across town because I mixed up the address, and I swear, like, I'm just like, I'm a mess. Like I always, being on time is like, I got to be better always. So I think just like doing that, being a leader, and like showing people the ropes, being like proud that I've been with the company for a while, and yeah, lead by example. You know, it's just as important to me that I like stay in good graces with that company and all companies as I do as much as it's important to do a good audition. You know, it's like I really try to resonate on that teacher telling me like your side hustles are a part of the fucking picture. Like if you're not doing your side hustles at 100%, you're not doing it all at 100%.
Right.
Because like the reality is that the side hustle is a part of the whole picture.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, I mean it's your freaking livelihood.
That's what I mean.
It's your consistent livelihood.
That's what I mean. So you got to kind of hustle with that.
I also think like what I was gonna say. Sorry about that. I just had to change the battery on that camera. You know, you were kind of talking about like I do think you are. You know, you're a crazy good worker, dude, and like you're freaking really organized. Like your home is really organized. You built all this stuff right here. Like you are a very organized person because otherwise your life would be too chaotic.
Yeah, dude, I'm like exactly. I'm a mess otherwise. It's the only thing I can do.
It's like kind of like your way of controlling shit like that, but you're like super good at it though, because that's why people like look up to you, you know, while you're there for sure, and like why I think you want to keep climbing the ranks, and because I think it is an important thing in your life, and I think you do think that it is an important thing in your life, and it's cool how you're able to take that and bring it to, you know, their company and your work there as like a, you know, a catering staff, you know, person who's doing this for their livelihood, but like you do love it though. And I also think that it helps you as well, like I was saying.
Right.
Because you're a little crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm a wacky.
We know that, but that's why we love you.
Whenever I talk about
you.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you saying that too. But I think being like, my organized and like resourceful, building it's like it all has a reason, but it's to keep me fucking sane. Like if I don't make my bed, like it's not a good start to the day for me. Like I got to do that kind of stuff, and I think being organized and staying on top of, and that's the thing I need to do in my personal life. So I get rewarded if I do it at work, and if I do it in my acting work, like it's good. But sometimes it's easy to neglect that stuff because I'm like, like I want to live my life, or I woke up late and I'm late to work.
He's the kind of dude that you love to have, like he's the kind of dude that you love to have on your staff because you know he's the shit, but you know he's gonna fucking fall through sometimes. But you keep him on because you love him so much.
Oh my God, man!
Because when he is there and he does show up, he's a fucking killer, and he's gonna be amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, that's amazing, man. That's it in a nutshell, though. I'm like, sometimes when I'm there, I'm like, and I swear to God, that's why I was like, I need to be a fucking captain. Sometimes, and some of these workers, dude, that are they're there for a paycheck, like at the like so minimum. They're doing the littlest they can do on their phone. They're doing such small amount of work just to get by on how little can I possibly do.
For sure.
And I'm like, and genuinely, I'm going to get bored, man. It's an 8-hour shift. I want to, like, I have to stay busy. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing the job of 2 workers. But then, like, I think 2 summers ago, one of our like lead captains, we were doing an event out in the Hamptons, and we were getting picked up at CC Reynolds down on Morton Street downtown, and I was driving the van. I signed up to do, because you get paid. You only get paid for one way of travel. Typically, when you're going out, when you're leaving the city or like Jersey or wherever. Yeah. But if you drive, you get paid there and back, and that's a freaking 2.5 hour drive. So I was like, that's an extra 5 hours of pay. So
2.5 hour drive
out to the Hamptons, is it not? 2 hours?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying to CC Rental. My bad.
No. Like out to the Hamptons.
Right. You get paid for the drive. You get travel time. And
you get paid, but like if you're just a staff, you only get paid for like one way.
One way. Right.
The
way back.
The way back is once you're end of the event, you're done. You're off the clock.
Right. Yeah, that's another good little tip for you guys. If you travel with these companies, you get paid
for travel
to travel as well.
Yeah. One way.
And some companies, I don't know about Mary Giuliani, I'm sure they do.
Fly.
But Dev, in the previous episode, you know, he talks about how he takes people to LA, he takes people to Miami.
One of my companies before has brought me to, like, we've gone to DC, but I know people go to Florida, Miami, and all that stuff.
DC,
activations,
Boston.
Like they bring, they're bringing the cream of the crop to the event.
Right,
it's better than getting the people out there.
Dude, there was a crazy wedding right before I came home that OCC wanted me to do down in fucking like Alabama, and they were flying out like 120 dudes.
Wow.
Or like 100 guys for this thing. It was crazy, but
that would be a no. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I mean,
I love Alabama.
You know,
never been.
Love it. No, but I mean, it's just, but yeah, you get paid. So if you're like going like 2 hours, like he's saying, 2.5 hours to the Hamptons or whatever, as as like a server, I'm getting paid to go out there, but I'm not getting paid for the way back.
But still, it's like one way there, and you're 2.5 hours. You're not working. You can be you're on your phone. You can read. You can do whatever. Doing emails, sleep, watch a movie, whatever.
Studying lines.
Yeah. But this one time I was the staff driver, so I was driving a passenger van out. I think there's like 8 of us. We were actually going to fucking Bon Jovi's house. For Bon Jovi's, him and his son started a company called Hampton Water. So sometimes on those event things, it said Hampton Water, and I was like, what is this bougie water? I thought it was like a new Fiji, but it's like Hampton has a spring, I guess, in like East Hampton. And so I genuinely thought it was like a water company, like Fiji. But when I got out there, I saw the bottles of Hampton Water, and it was a rosé. And when we were in the kitchen, I was looking at this newspaper clipping, and it had like a little thing of like Bon Jovi, and it said his name, and he was like had his aviators on, and then there was like a Wine Spectator magazine, again front cover was Bon Jovi, and then I was like, I think we're in fucking Bon Jovi's mansion right now. And me and my friend were Jake, who actually lives in Alabama now. We were both like talking about it. We thought it was and we started singing like "Living on a Prayer" or something. And we were like, "Whoa, living on," and then Bon Jovi, lo and behold, comes out of the kitchen. He's like, and he goes, "It's a little higher." and then he was like, he came up to us. He was mad cool, man. He was playing music, and it was all the wine reps from.
It's a little higher.
Yeah, he's like, you got it. And he had this like.
You guys are a little flat.
Yeah, really, something like that. Like it was a little flat. And he had this white button down shirt. He was just like, I mean, I was like, he looked like a rock star. He looked awesome. And it was all the wine reps from Hampton Water were there, and it was like kind of like if you were the top rep in your region, you like won this like fun weekend out in the Hamptons, and you got to meet Bon Jovi and like go on a boat cruise, go to his house for a private lunch, whatever. And then he was playing music, and he had like a playlist on. He's like, "Is it good?" He came in and checked to the kitchen and asked us, like, he's like, Is it like too loud? He's like, is it overrated? I'm playing Beatles. He's like, the Beatles are a good vibe, right? And I was like, dude, Beatles can't go wrong. Also, you're Bon Jovi, dude. You can fucking play Beethoven. No one's gonna say shit to you. Also, this is cool.
Bow, bow.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it was wicked.
This is a song for the broken hearted.
Yeah.
Bow, bow.
But like again, like I was that morning going to the van. I just thought this event was for Hampton Water, so I was just like, oh, it's a Hampton event, whatever.
So Hampton Water is actually a wine.
It's a rosé. Yeah,
it's a rosé wine
that John Bon Jovi and his son started. Like it's like
Hampton Water. That's good.
Yeah,
That's a good name.
Yeah, good name. Of course, it's a rosé.
Hampton Water, and it's a rosé.
But yeah, so I just thought it was just this water brand. So like, not that mattered, but I was just like, oh, like it's a Hampton event. But I was like, fuck, I'm late. And like we're driving the van. Like we give ourselves ample travel time to get there. And Keith was our captain. Was like, Mike, like, where are you? And I was like, I'm coming, man. I was like, the train was like, but then I had to get off the train at Essex Delancey off of the J train because the L was down. So it started with a bad train. I didn't look at any of the train stuff until the morning of. Classic. Like looking at the train then morning of, like, and didn't realize that the train was down for the weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's
scheduled maintenance.
Scheduled maintenance is like, okay, so like not looking at that the night before, like rule or like fucking mess up number one. Like always, if you have a weekend event, like look at that travel time and stuff ahead of time.
Yeah,
obviously,
for sure.
Like it's like a friggin' like that's like a rookie mistake.
Yeah, they shut down the trains just for reference because what he's talking about.
Yeah, they shut
down trains on the weekends or late at night during the week.
Right, to not disturb to disturb the transit as little as they can.
Yes.
But yeah, so I'm like, I don't live near the J, so it started with me running to the J train, hopping on that, it's like creeping into Manhattan over the Williamsburg Bridge, and I'm like, and then it just gets to the second it gets to Delancey, I'm like, I fucking can't be on the street anymore. Get out, get into a cab.
Yes, of course.
Sitting in traffic, and I was like, I don't know why I got into a cab. Took like a $20 cab ride, and then end up getting out of the cab, getting onto a city bike. So now I'm on my third mode of transportation: train, cab, city bike.
Yeah. I've done this before.
And then I can't find a fucking dock to park the damn thing. Find it, park it, and now I'm just running. I'm like, it's middle of the summer. I'm fucking like blistered, like I'm soaking wet. And I'm like, and Keith is like, Michael, we're leaving. And Keith is now not. He's like, I'm the captain. I'm leaving. I'm gonna get behind the wheel and I'll drive the van out. But like, we're leaving without you now, Michael. And I was like, I'm coming. I'm down 7th Avenue. I'm fucking gonna be there. And they were nowhere near CC Rentals. They were en route to fucking the Hamptons. And I like got picked up on like 7th Ave and 12th Street or something. I was like,
no way.
And I got in and I was like, do you need me to drive? He's like, you're not driving. And I was like, oh, yeah, fair. Like, I was like, do you want me to still drive? He's like, no, you're not getting fucking driving. I'm driving and I'm getting paid both ways because you were fucking 30 minutes late, you bastard.
Oh my God.
And it's just like, oh my God, that was so brutal. And then I got there and I was like, oh my God, I was late to like if I knew it was Bon Jovi's, I wouldn't have been late. I was going to be late. I'm a bastard.
You're going to be late.
Yeah, it's like, so that's the thing. It's like I made all these mistakes and it's like, no more of that. This is an important thing. I'm 30 years old. Treat it like a real job. Like, it is a real job. It's even though it's a gig work, it's like just like anything else. It's like you wouldn't roll if you were working at a restaurant. Like you're gonna get fired. And I've been fired. Like I've been fired from catering companies, and I've like worked at I got like all these different companies. Like you gotta treat it like work. Respect your employer, like you would any job. And I think that's like the most important thing I can say to any artist out there when you do side hustles. Like I can't reiterate that enough. Like it is a part of your story. It's a part of your income. Treat it just like you treat your if you're a musician playing your gig, going to your catering gig or going to your barista job or whatever it is, your babysitting job, whatever the fuck you're doing to make ends meet, that is just as crucial as the performance or just as crucial as the audition. Ooh. You got to remember that. Like, and I think it's so easy for us because we're artists and we're like, yeah, let's fucking party. We're doing this. And like, I got auditions. I'm social. I want to go to my friend's show. I'm up till 4 a.m, but I work at 9. It's like, I don't care. You stay up till 4. You got to be at fucking work at 9. Don't be late. Like, just like someone with a 9-to-5 job wouldn't be late for their job. You got to fucking take that seriously.
Yeah.
And I've made that mistake. I'm telling you. Like, you can ask half the catering companies in New York City about my fucking name. And it's like, do it when you start doing this, whatever age you are, like, take it seriously. Like, it's your job and it's a part of you being an artist. Don't separate it. I think that's a big mistake that like I did, and like I think a lot of people do. They're just like, it's my side hustle, man. It's just a fucking paycheck. No, it isn't. Like, yeah. Like a doctor doesn't fucking show up late. Like he's a fucking doctor.
Yeah.
And it's like,
it's not a side hustle. It's like you're making
that's your job.
Your main income off of this. It's your job.
Yeah.
It's not a side hustle. And it's like this is how you're making a living right now.
And it goes into like acting shit too. It's like sometimes I'm like pushing that deadline and shit, and like we've talked about that. Yeah. And I have my little ways.
Sometimes you've done it 3 times in the last week.
Yeah, it's like exactly. It's like I'm like always just like and every time I get a new audition, I'm like I'm gonna fucking get right on this. I'm gonna get it in 4 days in advance. And it's like no, I don't. It's 20 minutes past the deadline, and I'm like in the portal because and like whenever we're talking about that,
don't tell them the secret.
Yeah, don't tell them the secrets. But like. It's like all of it, like timeliness and being, and some people have always said that, like, what's the word? But like, what's it called when you're like always on time? Like not opposite of tardy.
I'm not always there when you call, but I'm always on time.
Yeah.
Not always there when you call, but I'm always on time. I gave you my all. Now, baby, be mine. That's what they say?
That's not what they say. I don't know what that song is. I was like, is that a fucking...
That's fucking Ja Rule, dude.
I don't know.
Ja Rule and Ashanti. I'm not always there when you call. Baby. Living up. Anyways.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
What do they say about being on time?
No, but
if you're
it's a word. It's a word that's called like
if you're 10 minutes early, you're 5 minutes late.
Yeah, like all that stuff and like being very I forget the word. It's not diligent, but like being really not diligent, but like there's a word about it's whatever, it's slipping right now.
The word that you're looking for is starts with a P. Punctual.
Like punctuality is like so important and such a admirable quality that I've literally never had.
Yes.
And I work on it, and I really am trying to work on it and be better with it for everything in my life. But it's, my God, it's a daily struggle for me. But it's like something I do really want to, like, even saying this out loud now for myself. It's like, let me really try and focus on that. Tune in, get there early. I'm going to be late. If I try and get there 15 minutes early, I will just be on time. I will just be on time for me.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, try and get there 30 minutes early. And then maybe I can be 15 minutes early. And that is technically what they say is being on time. It's like being there 15 minutes early.
Yeah. I'm
always getting there. And it's like, I'm like, oh, it's 4 o'clock and I'm there at 4:01. I was like, that's as good as it's going to get, guys. And it's like, no, it can get better. Be better.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, I apply that to even when I do my lessons for
volleyball and stuff.
For kids or adults.
Yeah.
Like, bro, practice starts at, 6 o'clock, right? You need to be warming up at 5:45.
I don't want you coming with your...
You need to be walking in at like 5:35 and then getting changed or whatever you need to do.
You're not unzipping your bag at 6 o'clock.
No, you're not unzipping your bag at 6 o'clock. That's when we're supposed to start like doing drills.
Right.
Like you need to be warmed up before them because I do an hour-long lesson with you. So you get your body warm for 15 minutes before you even step on the court with me. When you step on the court, then we do work. You know what I mean? Then the next hour is working on you, not me having to fucking teach you how to warm your body up, right? I usually do that, though, when I first start working with kids to be like, this is what you need to understand. This is the process.
This is what a warm-up is. This is how much time it takes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like kind of going like that just reminds me of I'm not coaching or I don't really play sports anymore, but thinking of my childhood playing lacrosse or football or anything, and like I also played volleyball in high school, and it's like, practice starts at 6, but it's not like you come in, you're out of breath, you're just finishing your sandwich. It's like no, like we're starting practice at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
The coach is starting to begin what we're focusing on, why we lost last game, what our drills are going to be targeting.
Right.
That the actual practice is starting at 6.
Right.
Whatever the fuck you need to do, your bagel you need to eat, and like the warm-ups you need to do, and you want to relace your shoes.
Yeah.
All that shit is not on the coach's time. That's not what the coach is an hour. Like you have an hour. You're not like, what are you gonna watch a kid relace his shoes? Like you're like, I have an hour. Time is precious. We have 60 minutes.
Yeah.
We're not wasting time.
Yeah. 100%. And like if somebody is doing that, like then I just move at the pace that they're moving at. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and it depends on the kid. If I think they have potential, then I'm going to push them
a little bit more, right?
If I think that they're kind of like a lost cause or like, then I'll just be like, all right, I'm going to work that hard today.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if I've told you already, and you're not applying what I've tried to teach you and tell you, then I'm going to let you try and figure it out then.
You're not going to beat a dead horse.
I'm not going to I'm not going to keep telling you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
is your approach different if it is an adult? Like you mentioned that you do adult and like youth.
Yeah, but I think adults like understand that.
Yeah, they're kind of they go in, they know that rule of life kind of going into.
I think they've kind of figured it out a little bit.
Right.
A little bit. You know what I mean?
Sometimes you might have to give a slight nudge maybe.
Or like, like if they're like a low level like athlete or player, like, low level experience, you got to like show them that route, because it's the same thing. Like they've never had a coach.
Right.
Or they've never had a legit coach, you know what I mean? Like who's really done shit,
Yeah.
So it just depends. But yeah, that's a whole different freaking story. But yeah, it's cool. I'm glad that you're kind of cleaning up your act.
Yeah, I mean, it's about time, right? I was like, yeah, geez, it's about time.
Yeah,
it feels good.
It's good for you. You needed that though.
Yeah, I think it feels good, man.
Do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I'll mention it, but yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I'm practicing sobriety, which is, it's one day at a time, but I'm 4 days fully sober, which feels amazing. And it's one day at a time. So I have to keep saying to myself, I was like, I have no idea if I'll be sober tomorrow, but today I'm sober and I feel fucking awesome. I'm stoked to be on this podcast. Had my last drink like 15 days ago, but yeah, weed's always been a thing I've leaned on to since a pretty young age, and getting all of that out, man, and like really sticking to it. I'm going to AA meetings. I'm taking it seriously, man. Like I got to get out of those shackles. I've been smoking weed and drinking since I was 12, 13 years old. Like I'm 30. Like that's more than half my life I've been using stuff. And yeah, done quite a lot of substances that are under the sun on this planet. And I think it's, but man, just the clarity to be here today and just kind of be able to talk this openly and be as grateful as I am for the opportunities I've had in this city across the board, from my agents and managers who've given me great auditions, but the catering companies that have given me work, given me second chances. Like you said, like shaking their head because I've fallen through a little bit, but they've kept me as a part of the team because they know that I've got a deeper place in this company, or I've got a deeper place with that company, or whatever it is that they have hope in me, and it's time for me to have that hope and like belief in myself and build myself up. And it feels good, man. And it feels good to be here, be sober, talk to you. Like we're enjoying a coffee, shooting the shit. Fucking awesome seeing you. Like I still am like, is it really you? Like this guy's actually here, by the way, guys. It's not a hologram. And it feels awesome, man. Have you back in this apartment and have the lights set up. Typically, it's like you're on FaceTime. I have the light set up on just me doing a self-tape.
Right here.
Yeah, or vice versa. I'm over there watching you do a self-tape back home. And it's like, yeah, we're here in real person, and it's a blessing. It's awesome.
Well, I can't say, how proud I am of you because you're taking this step for yourself. So I want you to know that, and I want you to know that I love you, and you're loved, and, like, I could only support you, and I can only wish you the best for that,
Appreciate that, man.
Because you're going to get through it, and because you're coming through a lot right now, especially with yourself and your family and everybody involved, and, like, yeah, dude. You got.
I appreciate it.
It's coming along. You're getting there.
And the love and all of that, man. It's like all I got to tell myself, and that's the big message. It's like it's one day at a time. Like it's just breathing, eating well, getting exercise, being with people, non-toxic people who I love, people who bring smiles to my face, like. And yeah, man.
Because life is real, bro.
Life is real. Life is real, and like we only get one. We only get one. So it's all in your control with what you want to do with it. And like the way I was living was no way for a man to live. And I feel just very grateful to still be on this earth, and I want to just live a great life, man. And that's all on me. That's my control, and that lives with my decisions. And all I can keep saying, man, is one day at a time. It's one day at a time for me. Yeah. I
mean,
but I'm happy
because I think you're doing an incredible job, bro.
I love you, man. I appreciate that.
You are, and it's cool, man, to slow down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
Because like we get caught up a lot in the world and like the crazy things that are going on, and just our lives and fun and living here in New York, and it's fast, and because you're onto something better now.
Kind of going back to you saying
you're getting through there.
The Bueller thing, but it's like the Bueller, but it's like the Bueller quote, man. Life moves fast, especially in this city, and if you don't slow down every once in a while, you could miss it.
Yeah. Okay, so I want you to come tomorrow, if you can, to the podcast. Can you make it tomorrow?
Gotta double check the sketch, but the sketch, what's that guy but I think I can make it. I'm pretty sure I got tomorrow wide open. Just have a couple of phone calls I have to make, have an audition I'm rehearsing for, but aside from that, I think, man, seeing this guy, I mean, you guys can see it on camera, but this guy is a fucking legend, and there's not much he doesn't do, from painting to a podcast, and he just does it all at once, and it's like, gives me anxiety. I can't do it, but he just does it all. He's coaching volleyball. It's like, what are you like? What you're auditioning still, and you're catering. Like, it's amazing. But seeing you set up and do all this, I'm like, hell, I want to see how it goes with the next guest, man. It's really inspiring to see, like, you put this together. Like, I want to have a podcast. I'm gonna make a podcast. That's your energy, dude. You've been like that since I've known you, and that's so fucking inspiring. The amount of journals I have and like little notebooks that I'm like, a great idea for a little short story, great idea for a little film or a play, and then I write it, and then it goes in the notebook in my pocket. I don't see it ever again. you have an idea and you bring it to fruition as quick as you can, because I feel like you ride that fucking will that you're gonna do it.
You got to.
And it's so inspiring, man.
You got to.
And this podcast is great. Like I love it.
Bro.
Yeah, and it's cool going from learning things with Kyle and Phil to this, and it's like you knew that you wanted this, and you're a great host, man. I appreciate you having me. But yeah, I'll make it work tomorrow. I'll come through. My schedule is wide open.
Okay. Well, yeah, because you could meet a good friend of mine who you haven't met yet. Have you met Shane yet?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I feel like I've heard you talk about him a lot, so I almost feel like I have.
You could meet him. It could be cool. He's a guy like you.
Okay.
And he's going through the same things you're going through.
Awesome, dude. That's a great thing to hear. Yeah. And is he the guest tomorrow, or did you say Caviar?
No. But Shane is the one who.
You said it's gonna be a
cross our fingers, Shane. I love you, baby. And now it's time to go. Now it's time to make this motherfucker work. But he's the guy who's gonna get my TV show off the ground. We're gonna get that shit off the ground.
Okay.
He's gonna invest.
Word up. Okay. Yeah, you said it's gonna be a tight crew, so I feel like it'd be.
We're gonna have that conversation either tomorrow or Sunday.
That's great, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I need right now is this community. So that sounds like a great plan for a Friday. Nice way to cap off the week.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, but maybe that'll be.
If you don't want to be around that, you know what I mean. If you don't want to be around that environment,
we'll see.
Then don't come, because it's gonna be that environment tomorrow.
We'll talk off the air, but
okay.
I might need a boundary, but we'll see.
Okay.
But I appreciate the invite, and we'll see. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. But anyways, yeah, love you, dude.
I love you too, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, Kyle.
Cool. Let's wrap this up, G.
Let's wrap it up, buddy.
Yep. Love you, bro.
Man, love you, dude.